Hey guys, Chris with Team Critical Bench here with Ben Pakulski, and we're talking about biceps. He just got done showing me one terrific thing to improve my biceps. We're walking past this device here that I've never really seen before, and I asked him about it, and he said, well, let me tell you a little bit about this and how this can benefit your biceps. Ben?
Well, Chris was walking around showing off his biceps.
Chris, let's see these things. Flex.
Come on, let's go. He's showing off the peak, and I go,
It is a nice peak.
so I figured,
It's not like his.
Ben,
so
are you in flex mode?
I figured we would show Chris one of my favorite pieces. It's actually made by a company in the UK called Watson, which is, they've actually revolutionized a lot of different types of bars. I've got this one. I've actually got two other ones here, like a fat bar and then a specific arm bar. Obviously people know in the IFBB, which is where I compete, it's an arm show. So if you don't have big arms, better luck next time, right? So I've really been doing my best to build my arms, and this is one of the things that I find to be the best tool. Now, a lot of you may not have access to this type of thing. If you want to pick it up, you can get it on Watson.com. Really, WatsonGymEquipment.com, I think. It's really not expensive. It may be $200, but totally worth it. And the reason it's worth it, because jump in there, Chris. Have another side. So the reason it's worth it is, actually, before you get in there, a really, really simple explanation of mechanics. So a dumbbell, a barbell, can only exert force in one direction, right? Straight down. So if I'm picking up a barbell and I'm holding it right here and I drop it, it falls. It doesn't move in any other direction. So as I'm doing a curl, if I get to this point where my forearm is completely vertical, perpendicular to the ground, there's no tension in my biceps. There's tension in my delt. There's no tension in my biceps. So I actually would need to stop here. So a lot of people will do a curl and they'll come up and go like this, and they think they're getting a full range of motion or a lot of tension at the top of the range, but in reality there's none. So what I've done is I've grabbed this bar because it's the most amazing way that I've ever seen to change the strength curve, which we talked a lot about, and getting strong at the extremes of the strength curve. So Chris, grab that. And you notice it's very lightweight on there. This is actually going to be really heavy. So come all the way up to the top, keep your chest up nice and tall. Okay, set up a little tall, there you go. All the way up. And that's really, see how now, because that weight is so far away from Chris, you still have a lot of tension at the top. Come up. All the way down. All the way up. And how does that feel when you get to the top? It keeps getting harder, right?
Yeah.
You really can't make it easy at the top, whereas most people come to the top and they kind of rest.
Typically on a Scott curl or feature curl like this, right about here, you're already easy mode.
Right.
This is where it
Starts to get hard.
starts to get harder.
Exactly.
Big difference.
I found this has been one of the absolute best ways to bring up my bicep, the peak. I find you get a really good peak contraction.
Yeah, it doesn't take much load either.
And the same tip with this one, because think about pulling through your baby finger. You really want to think about supinating at the top, right? Even if you can't physically supinate, one of my favorite tips for biceps is consciously trying to supinate. And I'll show you when you're done your set.
I'm about toast there already.
So you see a lot of people doing, whether it be dumbbell curl or barbell curl, even this, and they'll end up taking the barbell like this, on the inside of their hand, and this is they curl like this.
Yeah.
So what's the position of your wrist, right? Position of your wrist is what's called position of relative pronation. But in reality, the bicep is a supinator, so you really want to be as close as you can to this position, even turning it out as far as you can. And something as simple as making that conscious attempt to turn it while you train will actually dramatically increase the recruitment of your biceps. So if I start curling like this, I'm using a lot of brachialis, a lot of brachioradialis, not a lot of bicep. Whereas if I'm supinating, even if I'm not physically changing the direction, because I'm consciously trying to do that, it's actually increasing the recruitment of my biceps. So a great little tip for you guys. Hopefully you like training biceps. If you want to check out that piece, it's WatsonGymEquipment.com, I think. Just Google it. And Chris, how'd you like it?
I loved it. And in fact, I think I'm going to start doing some of these bicep exercises, see if I can increase my arms a
Chris is going to try to show me up again. That's how it rolls. I say, okay.
Yeah, not quite. Guys, thank you so much. Another tip from Ben, the master Pakulski here at Powerhouse Gym in Tampa. We'll see you next time.